My feet so fat I can't get into my roller skates. And my neck and chest don't fit anymore. Look at this. It's a stick up. It don't work. I do this at a bank robbery. I look like a fool.
Hey, hey, hey. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. And once again, Rumble Studios being a bunch of faggots, we're starting off hot. So, YouTube may not have liked me coming in hot like that, but it's needed. Because I do not understand why all of a sudden now Rumble Studios just does not want to hold a connection when multi-streaming. It defeats the whole purpose of why you would use Rumble Studio to multi-stream. I've been talking with them. And frickin', I thought we solved it last time by lowering the bit rate, which, I guess that can be my fault in the sense of I bumped up the bit rate a little bit just to see what's up. And it was working just fine, and then just collapsed. So, bullshit, gay. I hate it. Doesn't really matter, though. We are live here. I was trying to stream to party, but it is what it is. But we're on YouTube, Rumble, and X right now. So if you enjoy the show, make sure to follow me out over there. Hit the like and subscribe button and turn on notifications to get notified when I go live, whether that's this show or game streaming. It'll be fun regardless. We talk about pop culture news, try to keep ourselves up to date of what's happening, look at the good, the bad, the ugly, and laugh at some of the insanity that's happening with the hope of bringing back that nostalgic spirit, keep that flame burning, because remember back in the day when you could just be entertained for entertainment's sake? You know, we need to point out what's happening and we need to fix it. We need to go back to those old days. But I'm just one guy who gives his 2 cents in amongst the sea of many other people. But it is what it is. But let's hop into this. We've delayed it further than what I was hoping for. But yeah, we have some articles here. One of the big ones that we'll be discussing later on is, God of War creator David Jaffe and Vara. David being a douchebag, going after Vara for pretty much just being a woman. But we'll get into it. This caught my eye though, because hopefully I'll be getting Mario and Luigi Brothership soon. One of those things that my folks like, do you want anything for Christmas? And I was like, you can get me this because I'll be bringing the Switch up. Checking it out. Mario and Luigi Brothership developer wanted an edgier Mario, but Nintendo said no. So I think that'd be awesome to see an edgier Mario and Luigi. Acquire, the studio behind Mario and Luigi Brothership, says it originally wanted to give Mario an edgier look, but Nintendo wasn't convinced. In a new Ask the Developer interview on the official Nintendo website, this is coming from Video Game Chronicle, by the way, choir designer Hitomi Furuta explained how she had originally designed Mario to look different to how he had in the past, but that Nintendo suggested it wouldn't fit the art style of the previous Mario and Luigi games. Our challenge was to develop 3D visuals that would bring out the unique appeal of the Mario and Luigi series and differentiate it from other Mario games. Furuta said, I'm ashamed to say it, but we weren't conscious of when development started, which led us to make a huge detour. And in our search for our new Mario and Luigi style, at one point we ended up trying to present an edgier, more rugged Mario instead, she laughed. Then we received feedback for Nintendo that we should aim to make the art direction identifiable by fans as belonging to the Mario and Luigi series. After that, we were able to narrow down our focus to how we could combine two things: the appeal of illustrations featuring, for example, solid outlines and black, bold eyes or bold black eyes. I reversed it. And the charm of pixel animation depicting the two characters moving around comically in all directions. I think that's when we finally started to develop an art style that's unique to the game. So I guess this is the more rugged look of Mario. I think that looks pretty dope. I don't think the ripped, unless there's like damaged, when they get damaged, they show wear and tear over time. If that was just the overall thing, then yeah, I don't like the suspenders kind of ripped. I mean, it's kind of cool, but to be expected. But I do like the like scruffiness for sure. Nintendo producer Akira Otani added that from Mario's point of view, Acquire's character design didn't feel like Mario and instead gave the impression of something different that just resembled Mario. So he called for a meeting in order to reassess the direction. While we wanted Acquire to have their own unique style, we also wanted them to preserve what defines Mario, he explained. I think it was a period when we were experimenting with how those two things could coexist. I mean, I disagree. I think it's fine. And I want to know that they actually had this rendered. It would have been nice to actually see this rendered inside of the game just to see if what they're saying is actually true. So, although we enthusiastically pitched this rugged version of Mario, when I considered it from a player's perspective, I started to worry about whether it really represented the Mario that players would want to play, Furuta recalled. So, when we got the clear direction from Nintendo, it made perfect sense to us. I think that's when we realized for the first time, this is what we should be aiming for this time in terms of 3D visual styles from Acquire. And we were able to establish the fundamental direction. Haruyuki Ohashi, the game's director at Acquire, added, "We had a strong desire to experiment with new visual styles, but Nintendo articulated their version to us each time in a way that we found convincing." Yeah, Nintendo's Otani laughed. It's like we unleashed Acquire in the wild and only to go chasing after them again. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of bullshit. If you didn't tell them what to do, they come up with this style. And it's like, well, that's not what we meant. It's like, if you're going to be that picky about your IP, just give them what you want right away. Like, this is what I don't get. Yeah, Nintendo, we already read that. VGC's Mario & Luigi review calls the game a triumphant return for the series, maintaining the spirit and action-oriented platforming of its predecessors, coupled with fantastic exploration and satisfying battle mechanics. I've heard mixed thoughts about this, but I kind of asked for this for a Christmas gift, so I will be playing it regardless. But I wanted to play it because I was playing all the other ones and I was hoping it would live up to the other ones, but some people say it has. Some people said it's kind of too easy, it holds your hand, but let's not weigh us down with that sort of thing. So Xbox Game Pass over at Niche Gamer here reported that Xbox Game Pass adds Indiana Jones and the Great Circle and more this month. I know some new games get released on the Game Pass, but I just think it was funny that it was Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. It's announced its Xbox Game Pass lineup for early December 2024. Free games with content coming to Xbox Game Pass subscribers on PC, mobile, and Xbox consoles. And you can find the full list of games and content coming to it right here. But we also got this. Got Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled for console. Forza Motorsports Series XS December 4th. Has anyone ever played the Forza Motorsports? I see them around, but like I never really know anybody who really plays them. I just think it's kind of funny that they keep making it, but I don't know. Maybe there actually is a market in those type of games. Haunty or Hauntai, December 4th. Play as a brave yet naive little ghost. Okay. Humanity for console. EA Sports WRC. Overthrown. And here we go. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle of PC. I'm wondering if the reason why this is being included is because they know it's going to stink and not a whole lot of people are going to come and buy it. Like, I'm just wondering. Makes no sense. So it'll be available for day one on cloud, PC, and Xbox S series. You got Wild Frost, you got Carrion, Road 96, and More coming as I'm yawning. Then you have some DLC/game updates. Deploy stealth skills in Sea of Thieves Season 14. Been watching Jay and like Wicked Virtue, Amanda playing Sea of Thieves. I'm kind of intrigued. I think of kind of intrigued of maybe checking Sea of Thieves out at some point. Nice pirate game, you know. Dungeons of Hindenburg is coming, and then you got your ultimate perks, which is I guess was that the standard? That just says Xbox Game Pass. Yeah, that was the other thing we've read too, is that they keep changing like the names of the perks and the passes, and it's just annoying because they want to get you to pay for the most expensive one because it's the one that, you know, has the most, you know, games in there, but they want you to spend money. World of Warships, Meatball Cyborg Pack, Stumble Guys, Candy Bear Bundle, and then these games are apparently leaving soon. Amnesia, Forager, Froza Horizon 4, Rainbow Billy. Oh no, Rise of the Tomb Raider, RIP. Tin Hearts, The Quarry, Blue Blaze, Close to the Sun, Humankind, Lego 2K Drive, MC Pixel 3, and Party Animals. So, there you go. Again, the thing that caught my eye is the fact that Indiana Jones is being included. And they could try to spin it. It's like, oh, yeah, you can get access to it day one and stuff like that. But I'm wondering if when they do stuff like this, if they feel like the game's not going to do so well. Because Indiana Jones, it's going to be a woke catastrophe. And it's like, do you even want to play it? Like, modern games are making it to where if you even want to play it, like, right away, you're better off going the Game Pass route so you don't actually spend money on the game itself. But, you know, I want to physically own the game. But I ain't dropping money for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle if it's going to be a woke piece of garbage. Got some PlayStation articles here that I found intriguing. Coming from Tech for Gamers, this article states that PlayStation was lucky to survive the PS3 era, says former SEI boss. So PlayStation 3 is widely regarded as one of the weakest generations of Sony's consoles so far. It was outplayed by the 360 in all ways during the era, and former SIE boss says PlayStation was lucky to survive the PS3 era. This is true. They did do the weakest selling in PS3, but I feel like still there was a lot of solid games for the PS3. PS3 had all sorts of issues, from an inflated price tag, I agree with that, to lackluster titles at launch and development obstacles. It put PlayStation in a tricky situation that could have cost them a lot. In an interview with Eurogamer, former SIE president Sean Layden revealed the hurdles they faced during the PS3 era. He said they tried too many things with the console compared to the previous generation. Got a quote right here. We flew too close to the sun and we were lucky and happy to survive the experience, but it taught us a lot. With the PS3, they built a supercomputer and put Linux on it. All of these were risky moves, but he's glad they survived the time, and it taught them a lot, which eventually led to PS4, the second best-selling console the company has ever released. I didn't know Linux was on it. I did like the idea of backwards compatibility, though. I wish the innards of the original PS3 would have been carried over, you know, with the newer models down the road, like right here. Well, it's showing this one. Why doesn't it show the original 60 gigabyte? Furthermore, he said that the PS3 experience taught them it's not necessary to build everything in-house to manage costs. It's fine to outsource certain components and get help from other parts manufacturers. Ultimately, the PS4 helped Sony understand what the audience wanted, a multimedia-like experience that the Xbox offered. Despite its shortcomings, the PS3 ended up selling more overall units than the Xbox 360. You state this, but then up here it said it underperformed or something. It was outplayed by the 360. I mean, I guess manufacturer-wise and like hardware-wise, maybe it was inferior. But the Xbox 360 still used DVDs. The PS3 used Blu-ray. So I'm like, this comment doesn't really make sense to me. PS3, this is from an old article. I just wanted to see it. The PS3 CPU cost Sony $1.7 billion to develop. Well, yeah, that could definitely be the reason why it wasn't doing so well. But PlayStation, surviving the PS3 and going to the PS4, but somehow now not doing so hot with the PS5, they're saying that AI can revolutionize gaming, but it won't replace the human touch. Sony's gaming boss says there will always be a role for human developers, despite the rise of AI. So this comes from co-CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, Herman Hulst, has discussed the impact that artificial intelligence is having on the gaming industry. In an interview with the BBC, he said AI has the potential to revolutionize gaming, but the human input will remain crucial to the development process. I suspect there will be a dual demand in gaming, one for AI-driven innovative experiences and another for handcrafted, thoughtful content, Hulse said. Well, the big problem, again, is companies wanting to go that modern audience route, which doesn't benefit anybody. Not even the people that they claim they're catering. Not even for the people that they're not claiming it. They are catering it for these weirdos. They don't even like games. So it's like, why are you wasting your time trying to, please people who probably hated your games to begin with, aren't even gamers at all. They're just tourists. So striking the right balance between leveraging AI and preserving the human touch will be crucial. Almost 2/3 of gaming development studios are using artificial intelligence in their workflow, according to a survey carried out earlier this year by marketing research firm SYS, on behalf of gaming engine maker Unity. 62% of the studios we surveyed said they used AI in their workflows, mainly to prototype quickly and for concepting, asset creation, and world building, Unity said. According to Unity data, the average time to launch for games increased from 218 days in 2022 to 304 days in 2023. While learning to use new tech that can help speed up productions comes with challenges. 71% of the studios surveyed that were using AI said doing so had improved their delivery and operation. Hey, what's up, Chaos Smash? How's it going, man? 38% of studios surveyed said they were reluctant to start using AI. 43% of this group said they had an interest in using AI but didn't have the time, while 24% said they didn't think they had the technical skills to do so. During the BBC's PlayStation interview, which was conducted to coincide with the gaming brand's 30th anniversary today, Sony wouldn't be drawn on reports that it's working on a new handheld console. Yes, that is the rumor that's happening. Very interesting. Yeah, it's definitely gonna have to be, finding the right balance, as it says here, between leveraging AI and preserving the human touch. But the question is, so what's this about? Sony's talking about how AI can revolutionize gaming, but it won't replace the human touch, and that there needs to be that fine balance, which I do agree. But the question is, ultimately, in the end, if you're making games to a specific ideology, it doesn't matter how much AI you throw at it. It's gonna suck regardless. But the irony of it is that AI is what's replacing a lot of the woke weirdos. So could that really be the balance? Who knows? I can definitely see where AI definitely benefits in terms of speeding up certain processes and certain parts of the development stuff, but ultimately you still need that human touch. And even running the AI, you still need the human touch. So it's like even right here, apparently EA is saying generative AI could make it 30% more efficient and boost monetization by up to 20% over 5 years. There you go. That's rich coming from an idiot at Sony. Yeah, it's rich. But, who knows? One of the companies is going to find a way to do it. Chances are I'd probably say Nintendo, even though Nintendo is sucking with the gaming preservations and like suing everybody left and right, which is retarded. Like, it's like each big studio or each big company just like sucks in one shape or another. And it's just like, man, wasn't really all that bad back in the day, but the bastardization has happened. But what can we do to bring it back? I don't know. Guess shining the spotlight on the sins of people in terms of calling out when they're trying to cater to an ideology that, again, doesn't want to save gaming or respect gaming at all. They want to bastardize it. So jumping from AI, this kind of can tie in, according to another Video Game Chronicle article, is that, I don't know, Sean Layden apparently, or no, someone, an ex-PlayStation boss, says games should be shorter because development costs are not sustainable. I got an answer for that. It's called you don't make it into a glorified walking simulator. Like, get rid of the cutscenes. Hell, even tone down the motion cap and just make the scenes that are needed to advance the story, but yet keep it engaging and quick in there. And then just go ham. Former PlayStation executive Sean Layden says the price of game development has reached an unsustainable point and games should be made shorter to remedy this. No, again, games shouldn't be made shorter. How about you make games that are just good, doesn't need a whole lot of motion capture, isn't a glorified walking simulator, or have a bajillion cutscenes, a good story, the list can go on. But anyway, in an interview with Eurogamer, Layden was asked if it was enough to keep selling games to an audience that isn't growing at a rapid rate. Layden acknowledged that the industry is currently about getting more money off the same people and suggests that until this changed, game development costs had to come down. Every generation it costs twice as much to build a game, he explained. What cost $1 million on PS1, then cost $2 million, then $4 million, then $60 million. It goes exponentially. During the PS4 generation, which was the last I was associated with, the game dev was $150 million if you want to be top of the line. And that's before marketing. So by that math, PS5 games should eventually reach $300 million to $400 million, and that is just outright not sustainable. He added, it's like we're at the end of the 18th century and we're realizing that building cathedrals is really expensive. Can we continue to build these massive edifices to God for this incredible amount of labor and time? Or should we just build 4 walls and a roof? And that's a church, right? If you want to go about it in a reasonable approach with these companies, tell them and goods and bads of what they're doing. Tell them the goods and bads of what they're exactly. He added, it's like, I already read that. I'm afraid we've built AAA gaming into a kind of cathedral business, and it just can't grow any further. In fact, it's probably grown too far already. I'd say that instead of comparing it to like building a cathedral, I'd say you're catering, again, you're spending all this money to make a game to a very small fringed minority that do not like gaming to begin with because they're ass mad because the gaming industry is made up of majority of white males. And because equality needs to be pushed into your face 24/7 by the people who are the least qualified to be considered equal or, to demonstrate equality and love and all that stuff, you're literally pissing down the drain. I mean, that's just one aspect. I've already listed other ones of again, the motion capture thinking that a game with a bunch of cutscenes in there is gonna, be awesome when it's like, just do your Shadow Colossus remake, and I guarantee you'll probably be fine. So, asked how this trend could be rolled back to something more sustainable, Layden replied that games are too long, suggesting that while the length of a game used to be one of its many selling points, at the average audience has aged a long time, or has aged a long game. Wait, what? As the average audience has aged, a long game has become less of an attractive prospect to some players. I feel like that is one run-on sentence. I feel like some sort of punctuation should have been there, because I was like, what the hell is it? Like, what is he talking about? For the longest time, we kept banging on about 100 hours of gameplay. This is going to be awesome. It's 100 hours of gameplay. Like, that's the most important thing to know, he explained. That was a metric in the early years when the average gamer was 18 to 23. And when you're 18 to 23, you're time rich and money poor. You're time rich and money poor. But as the average age of the gamer moved into the late 20s, the early 30s, well, it's opposite, right? Maybe you aren't money rich, but you're definitely time poor. So I think our approach to a mismatch to that market to reality. Layden also suggested that the constant chase for the intricate levels of detail to ramp up production costs, and that if games are too long and players don't reach the end, that results in a lot of resources spent on content few actually get to see. Chaos says these people have been in the business to the point of not knowing where reality is. This is also very true. Yes, they are. Again, I mean, these are, people in the industry here are, part of a mindset that can't tell you what a woman is because they're afraid they'll offend some mentally deranged person. On PS1, our expectation walking down the street in the game was that you couldn't open every door, he said. Now the expectation is you can go in every house, open every drawer, and everything is destructible. And that's nice, but it's expensive to make that happen. We have to look at that. I do agree with that. Like, yeah, sometimes I just have some interactions there, but other than that, like, keep the game going. Like, keep that story moving. If only 50% of players see the end of your game, what about all those millions you spend on the final level for only half the people to see it? There's so much money being put into making huge game experiences, and people aren't seeing it. What would Coppola do if you walked out halfway through his movie? We have to understand this is a good use of resources. I want a movement that gets people to finish games where we make it so compelling they just want to see it, where it's not so onerous that they don't have to spend 3 months doing it. I actually do agree with some of his points, but I also do agree I mean, it depends on what his definition, I disagree, I should say, of what he thinks a short game should be. Because there are short games out there, but do they have solid replay value? Because if they have solid replay value, that's one thing, But if it doesn't, then, what can you do to make the replay value worthwhile? Because sometimes there's games where the game's short, you can get through it real quick, but you haven't unlocked all the skills and stuff. In some games, if I really like it, I'll go back and try to unlock the skills or grind to unlock everything. But then you have games that either do that at the end where you beat it once and then you play it again, or it's balanced just enough to where you can spend time grinding and to me it's worth it, and then you can move on and then be done with the story, But very interesting. Very interesting. All right, so this is one of the ones that caught my eye, which I think is hilarious. According to Tech for Gamers here, is apparently we all have heard that X Defiant is shutting down. People laughing at it because they said, no, we're doing good. And then it closes. And then people are like, you shouldn't be laughing because, so many people lost their jobs and stuff. And it's like, dude, at this point, sucks that you lost your job, but go find another one. Like this happens every day. Like people lose their jobs all the time. Like, and this coming from people who support cancel culture. Like again, you know, these are the people that clapped and prayed when Vic got canceled. But then when it's the shoes on the other foot, then all of a sudden we need to show pity and empathy for him because, it's a hard time. And it's like, well, you didn't really show empathy when you canceled someone or when you got someone fired or replaced or they got fired, replaced for DEI hire. You didn't care about that because, you're assholes. Anyway, but I thought this was funny because apparently Ubisoft thinks that they can still be a key player in the industry. And amidst the X-Defiant shutdown. Hilarious, because I've already stated that I am 100% sure that Ubisoft has maybe they haven't fully accepted it yet, but I think they've unknowingly accepted the fact that they're willing to let their company burn to the ground to push this sort of no, like catering to the modern audience is good. We'll do good. We'll do fine. Like I feel like the writing's on the wall, and I guess a tip of the hat to them for going down with the ship if it goes down. But again, I feel Ubisoft has been chosen by a greater force, I guess you could say, in being the company that's probably going to burn to the ground. And hopefully will be a rippling effect that will wake up the many other studios out there and realize that the route they're going to cater to the woke hive mind ends in destruction, and that they should probably get their heads out of their asses and make good games. There's a limit once you hit a certain degree of height. In the case of these people, they want to keep going higher. Not a good idea. Very true. It's like if it's not broken, don't try to fix it sort of thing. Like, how much do you try to polish a turd, I guess you could say. Like, for Ubisoft, definitely. When the funny thing is, it's like, it's a turd. Like, maybe don't use a turd. Don't polish a turd. How about you actually make something that's good? They're French. Denial is in their blood. Very true. I love that. Very true. So Ubisoft has faced a lot of hate lately, and it's no wonder why. The company has made some questionable decisions, which are now in the past, but still concerning. Oh, and they're not in the past. The hope is that you learn from the past, but as we all know, human beings really suck at doing that. Really suck. And Ubisoft is a good example of not caring. Now, just recently, its free-to-play first-person shooter X-Defiant was shut down, which shows that the company is currently in turmoil. Yes, if it's a free-to-play first-person shooter, you done goofed, and you goofed up big time. This is not good news for the gaming giant and its employees, as hundreds of them have already been laid off. The CEO has addressed the issue and released a massive internal memo for the company claiming Ubisoft still aims to be a key player in the industry. Excuse me. But the question is, they think they can still be a key player, but are they actually a key player in the industry? I feel like that title has long been gone. So again, that denial of just thinking, no, we can do it. Like, well, we're good. Like, we can rock this. And it's like, well, not really. You keep failing all over the place. And if you want to, like, if we do like a thorough research in your past history, you possibly could pinpoint the location of when things started going awry. So for the past few years, Ubisoft has not been able to maintain the reputation it earned from Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and other iconic video game franchises. Reliable Insider revealed the content of the entire internal memo. Yves Guillemot starts the memo by breaking the silence and apologizing to every employee for being silent, even though the company is in a very challenging situation. He was silent because he was too busy shitting his pants. What was the last AC game that was part of the Desmond story? I don't know. I stopped playing Assassin's during Assassin's Creed 3. I might have been halfway through it, but I just got tired with it. Because I played 1, 2, Brotherhood, and then started 3. Was it Revelation? I think I played Revelation 2. He also discusses the closure of X-Defiant and expresses his deepest gratitude to the team that worked on it. Guillemot further discussed the company's condition and how all his energy is focusing on guiding Ubisoft through these challenging times. Without, after firing people, mind you. Despite the major concerns, he aims to regain momentum and make the company a key player in the industry yet again. I'm doing everything I can to help us regain momentum so that we can continue to make Ubisoft a key player in your industry, or in our industry. In a creator known for its unique and exceptional video games, he stated. But then you got to ask yourself, say they completely get rid of Yasuke, for example, in Assassin's Creed Shadows. Will people come back? And I think the answer is no. Because the damage has been done, number one. Number two, how do we know that you're not going to continue? You wouldn't continue, where it's like, you're right, you guys, we done goofed. This was clearly political. At the time, we were, jumping on the bandwagon of appearing, woke and all that stuff. And we realized we should have just kept our nose to the grindstone and make video games and do that. But, how many times have we heard that promises? That's where I get worried with companies that say it'll be uncensored, or it'll be X, it'll be Y, and it'll be Z. And then people who scour the patches and the updates and stuff find out that they've changed stuff. Because to me, that would be false advertisement. It said you wouldn't be able to do it. You said it's not going to be untouched. Here we found an example of something being touched. This is why I also wish the gaming industry would go back in the day when you got the game, like that was it. That was the final product. Your old school, Sega Genesis, XYZ, all that stuff. Super Nintendo, and whatever bugs are in there, that's it. Like, no patches. That was the game. Should have made sure that you had it done. More updates regarding the Assassin's Creed Shadows will also be given soon enough, as the company now aims to make the best games possible that would also be beneficial for it. All right, so not a huge update in terms of what's happening, but again, hilarious and delusional at the same time. Let's be real. Let us be real. Okay, now we are getting into the juicy stuff. These are 2 articles from That Park Place. As some of you may have seen, either from her channel herself, or I don't know why you would watch his, but some people do. That is this big kerfuffle involving God of War director David Jaffe going on a sexist rant against Vara Dark, who claims that it really wasn't a sexist rant, even though his main arguing point was that the reason that she sits there is because she's a woman. Now, I've seen David Jaffe in a couple interviews, one with Side Score's podcast with Sutter and Craig, and he is one of the biggest disingenuous pieces of shit I have ever seen. He drips with insincerity, backhanded compliments, passive aggressive, projection in terms of trying to make himself really smart and putting down other people by saying you're not really smart, but being so out of touch with everything. It is absolutely hilarious. Of course, this maggot. Yes. So he attempted to set the record straight. Actually, wait a minute. What? Because we got another one here. Okay, they were kind of written at the same time. I don't know if there would be a better one to read in order. But anyway, I guess whatever. We'll just go ahead and read it. It'll cross over anyway. So he went on a rant, And now he's trying to set the record straight. He went on a rant against YouTube personality Vara Dark, who he labeled, as, a grifter. But ultimately, it came out of him looking like a sexist. According to Jaffe, his meltdown in which he stated that the popular YouTuber with 140,000 subscribers only has her platform because of her gender, and looks wasn't sexist in the least. Because he said so. Apparently he's gotten to the point where, oh wait, this is just his video. If you want to watch it, you can. Oh gosh. Got, what is that? Who is that? Asmongold, right? And then, I see Melanie Mac up in the corner. Got Vara Dark. You got Stuttering Craig. I've seen this guy on Stuttering Craig's show, but I forget his name. Hypnotic. And Tubbs over here. I said some mean things about her, he admitted. They were not misogynistic, but they were mean. They were intentionally mean, but whatever. Dude, okay, you admit that you were mean, but again, when you say you sit there in that chair because, pretty much your looks, you're a woman, I'm paraphrasing here, but you can literally find the clip anywhere. But say, yeah, that was mean, but it wasn't misogynistic. Remember, this guy's kid is, I think, transgender too. So let that percolate in the back of your mind here. Remember, so because he can't grow a pair of balls and tell his kid that, no, you're a man or woman or whatever, in terms of who they actually are. When he himself can't define what a woman is, then he for sure won't understand what being a misogynistic is. Except anybody who disagrees with him. That's when he knows what misogyny is. So to fact check that statement, let's check in with David Jaffe from a few days ago. Here it is. You're in that chair, Vara, because of your hair and your face and your gender, Jaffe said in a rant that he claims was not misogynistic. And that's fine, by the way. There's no problem with that. But let's be clear. You're a mental lightweight. Again, I pointed out this earlier. This guy comes off very passive-aggressive. He believes he's the smartest one in the room. I think there's even been tweets where he says, I'm older than you, therefore I have more knowledge than you, which is hilarious because then you could say, well, Trump's older than you, therefore he's smarter than you, which he would have a hissy fit about and bitch about, politics and stuff like that. I think that's, oh no, it's Alex. Yeah, I believe that's him. So he went on, and here's the post. He went on to explain himself, noting that what he said wasn't sexist because he apparently asked some woman if it was. I was not sexist to Vara, as he did it, Vara. We got Vara right there. Stop the clowns, he said, defending himself. I was not. I was mean to her, trust me, because I was worried. Because I knew people would think I was. You are. But I was like, I know people will think this is sexist or misogynist. Yes, that's why you said it anyway. See, this is completely disingenuous because of the fact he knew 100% well what he was saying. Now he's trying to backpedal by saying, well, I knew this could kind of cause some... See, this is screaming as someone who thinks he's playing 4D chess, but he's in a game of checkers. Like, the writing is on the wall with this douchebag. He is not the smartest person in the room. He thinks he is, but he's not. And I'm not saying like I'm smarter than him by any means, but this is the attitude this guy gives off. It's completely disingenuous. It's completely narcissistic. And he's saying this to show you guys on how smart he is because, well, I knew people would, say like this. I knew this was going to happen, so I made sure to check with someone to see it because, you think I wasn't thinking about this, but I've had all this stuff planned. Like, dude, these guys do not have anything planned out whatsoever. This is always off the cuff. Fun fact, when he developed Sweet Tooth and Kratos, he claimed that they were created from his deep dark thoughts. Very embarrassing if you think about it. But that's what makes it relatable. You know, no one's going to deny the fact that he made God of War, like, and that's a good game. Like the OG God of War series, masterpiece. You know, some could say. I think it's, I don't know. I don't like throwing out the word masterpiece very well, but it's very, very high up there. But again, see, this is the thing. Chaos Smash. I'm wondering when he said that, because I guarantee you back in the day, he had none of this thoughts like across his mind. And remember, this is a video game where you can bang Greek goddesses and stuff like that. His tardation makes you look like a genius. Very true, and that's hard. It's very hard to make me look good. To review, Jaffe said he said what he said, knowing that it would be considered sexist or misogynistic. However, he still said it and explained why. But it's not really. And I was checking with women. You don't even know what a woman is based on like your kid who's transgender, apparently. Like, oh my gosh. I'm like, hey, watch this for me, because maybe I'm wrong, because I can be wrong. Everybody's got a blind spot. I would hate to think I actually would say something sexist or misogynistic. But in this case, I was like, I don't think it is. But again, I could still be wrong. Educate me if I am. No one talks like this. No one fucking talks like this. And the people who do talk like this are exactly like him. Disingenuous, looking at everyone and thinking, I'm smarter than you, so I have to explain this in a way that you understand. Oh my gosh. When one of his live streamers pushed back, stating that saying a woman only has her position because of her hair and looks is in fact misogyny, Jaffe took a moment to offer his definition of those terms. And again, the rewriting of the definition. That's not sexist, he said. That's not misogynistic. That's me being mean to her and saying the only thing, in my opinion, based on what I've seen of hers, that allows her to be able to do what she does is she is an attractive or semi-attractive woman talking to a bunch of nerds. Is it mean? Oh, yes. Is it cruel? So we'll stop right here real quick and we'll point out the fact, 100% guarantee what he's seen of her is probably only videos of him because he's a narcissist. I guarantee you that's the only videos he said. I guarantee you he does not sit down and watch her content. 100% guarantee. He doesn't do it because when you do that and people find out that you do that, then you're siding with the enemy or you're doing X. You're doing Y. It's straight up Alyssa Mercante tactics. Project the fact that you're attacking me. You can't stop thinking about me. You always talk about me, blah, 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 blah. When you're the one going around literally wanting to pick fights with people. I'm saying Mercante, but that's an example. He said that in a Twisted Metal documentary that was on Twisted Metal Head On, which was in 2008. Okay. I mean, yeah, but again, if that's the deepest, darkest parts of him, then, you know, everyone has those cruel side. Everyone has those dark thoughts, man. Everyone has them. He's ashamed of them. That's why he's trying to keep it in the closet as much as possible. Because he probably is secretly gay, but who knows? That's just me. That's a joke. Is it mean? Oh, yeah. Is it cruel? Of course. I mean, she was similarly in both of her previous clips the same to me. See? Right there. He's only seen clips referring to him, not like her actual content. And yes, it dealt with her being a woman, but that wasn't me talking about women and like, oh, women can only do this job if I don't like or trust women. Dude, the stuttering. Like, I'm a bad stutterer. But holy crap. Again, look at how this is typed out and look at me reading this. This guy thinks he's smarter than people and he's saying stuff like this. No one can look at my channel and suggest that that's my history or that's the way I feel. What? Do you follow that? Me neither. Good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. So despite Jaffe's narrative and Dark's first rebuke of Jaffe's narrative surrounding Dragon Age the Veilguard, she didn't take any personal shots at him or belittle his work. She simply pushed back against his narrative that YouTube grifters caused the failure of Dragon Age the Veilguard. And like what Asmongold said, the definition of grifter has changed too. So I agree with what he said with that. The worst she did was refer to him as being salty. Well, I mean, he's more than salty, that's for sure. I get salty. Okay. He then went on to say that he'll metaphorically hit a woman all day long, but would only physically strike a woman if she was bigger than him and attack him. Yes, that's a real thing he said in his I'm not sexist and misogynistic explanation. Weird. Jaffe then doubled down on his initial statement, noting that Dark's audience is a bunch of, quote, angry men who enjoy seeing an attractive woman on their screen. And yet here you, dude, you literally fell under the category of your own thing. You're an angry man who apparently is angry because an attractive woman is on the screen. She goes to a lot of angry men who feel like victims and feel like they're not being heard, he said. Never heard any of us really talk about that. We just said keep woke games, keep woke ideology out of games because it doesn't sell, and it doesn't. And this can easily be done because it's literally the history of video games. Like, you can just look at history and realize that, you can make a game and it's not sexist or catering to the audience. He's keeping it in the closet, but he's letting it out as well. I know. He said, and she happens to be really attractive. Or you know what? I'm not going to say it. She's an attractive woman. I like redheads. She's attractive. She's young enough to be my kid. I don't want to date her. I'm not being creepy, but I can look at someone objectively and go, that's an attractive woman. But yet, oh my gosh. See, again, it's only okay when they do it because from what I've heard from this, the reason why he's not misogynistic or sexist is because he says he's not. And he might have asked some woman. And, sorry, but that's not sexist. It's not misogynistic. The above statement is about as not creepy as his initial comment was not sexist. He's getting it wrong. It's equal rights and equal lefts. Yeah. If you're wondering how the audience responded to Jaffe's explanation, you need only look at the video's stunning like to dislike ratio. Yeah, I posted a screen cap of that when I first saw this video. Yeah, it's gotten way worse. What a fag. As of this writing, Jaffe has garnered 291 likes and 934 dislikes. Do you believe that what Jaffe said about Vara Dark is sexist? Sound off and let us know your thoughts. Oh, it's 100% sexist. Again, these people, that was their explanation. Like, if you went up to Jaffe and go, okay, I believe, that you, based on your actions, based on what you're saying here, that you are a sexist, you're a misogynistic, you're XYZ, blah, 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 blah. Explain to me how being those things combats against sexism and misogyny. And this is the answer they're going to get. Well, I'm not any of that stuff. Why aren't you? Well, because I'm not. But you're saying all this stuff. Well, that's not what it means. See? Excuse me while I add a dislike to his video. Very nice. But yeah, just write this. All you have to do is pull this out and go, that's not and just read it. That's not sexist. That's not misogynistic. That's me being mean to her and saying the only thing, in my opinion, based on what I've seen of hers, that allows her to be able to do what she does is she an attractive or semi-attractive woman talking to a bunch of nerds. Is it mean? Oh, yeah. Is it cruel? Of course. I mean, she was similar. It's like, oh my gosh, dude. It's literally the rambling of a madman. And I pointed this, and I kind of pointed it out to, in a chat somewhere, I think, maybe on Site Score podcast. There's a reason why he's also going after Vara, too, because also backing up the fact that he is indeed a sexist and a misogynist is because Vara's a woman, and he looks down on women. He claims he understands them and talks to them and asks someone, oh, is this what I'm going to say sexist? But he doesn't. That's why, because he made a comment about studying Craig, because studying Craig said, you're a terrible parent. You're a garbage parent. You're a piece of shit parent. And he is ass mad about that. And there's a reason why he isn't going after like stuttering Craig or butting heads with him. There's a reason, because Craig pushes back. So he'll move on to the next thing who he thinks is weak. Vara. Or any woman, really. Because that's how he thinks about them. Again, this guy, keep in mind, his kid is transgender. So, terrible parenting. I do agree with Stuttering Craig on that. And based on letting his kid be a transgender, he doesn't know what a woman is. So any sort of counter argument that he's trying to give about how he can't possibly be a misogynist and a sexist is, to me, is like completely out the window. Your ideology is with the group that can't define what a woman is. So if you can't define what a woman is, then you can't define what a sexist is, because you don't know the difference. I can define it. It's you. You're the douchebag. I mean, to be fair, we're all douchebags at one point or another. So that Park Place also did another one. Vara responded. Vara Dark verbally wrecked God of War director David Jaffe after he went on a hypocritical, condescending, sexist tirade against her. I loved Stuttering Craig's response to it too. Just adding dislikes to his grifter videos until I saw him streaming, and I noticed people were adding dislikes to that stream. Oh, is he really streaming? That's funny. Whatever. So this article states that he lost his mind at YouTube personality Vara Dark, going on a wild, unhinged, deeply sexist rant against the popular gaming commentator on his own moderately populated channel. Also, what's funny is Smash JT pointed out the fact that he failed miserably in grifting off of all of this too. That's another funny thing too. He claims all the other people are grifting and stuff, and he wouldn't do that. But he's literally trying to grift, and he sucks at it. Now, granted, I'm by no means like a good grifter myself, but I just think it's funny. So she responded by verbally destroying the once prominent developer, taking him to task for his comments. So he would like you to believe he's down with the wokeness. His hot takes defending games like Dragon Age the Veilguard against supposed YouTube, quote, grifters are filled with the right virtue signaling buzzwords that will earn him points with outlets like Kotaku and IGN. Have they even covered this? I feel like I haven't seen any of them cover this, which is funny, he's failed over that way if he was thinking like, oh, some outlet will pick this up. But when challenged by an actual woman in the space who has an opinion that differs from his, he melted down, attributing the success of Vara Dark, who has achieved far more success as a YouTube personality than him, to her gender and appearance. The whole sordid saga started because Jaffe posted a video on his channel in which he stated that Dragon Age the Veilguard only failed because of YouTube commentators hating on it. Dark, along with many others, pushed back on this narrative, noting that the game's failure had everything to do with its uninspiring gameplay, clumsy narrative, and forced modern-day identity politics. I agree with that, but I won't lie and show my bias. I think this right here should be in the forefront. I mean, that's what it was. In Vara's rebuke of Jaffe's comments, she called him salty for his takes and for the excuses he made for BioWare's development team in the wake of their monumental failure with Veilguard. So he responded to being called salty in a monumental fashion. And then we've read this article, it's your hair, your face, blah, 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 blah. You're a mental lightweight. Then dehumanizes Dark by comparing her to a spider. You have about as much mental capacity as a spider that I killed in my shower this morning. It's the goddamn truth, Vara. Again, this guy thinks he's playing 4D chess when he's playing checkers and eating the pieces. Jaffe's big sticking point seems to be that Dark, and by extension that the YouTube gaming commentary community, I guess that would be mean too, shouldn't have a say in the quality of games because they haven't worked in the industry. Oh yes, the old that excuse. You're not you can't have an opinion because you haven't actually done XYZ, even though like the information to read up on it and do interviews and ask people, you know. However, YouTube comment is totally out there. I hate that. I hate that argument so much. However, YouTube commentators represent a demographic with a much more valuable opinion than a bunch of inside developers watching each other's backs. Exactly, because we're the ones that buy the game. These faggots probably get the games for free if they asked, if they begged and pleaded enough. Because YouTube commentators are consumers, the paying customer. Look at that. I didn't even read the next, like, kind of pre-read the next line, and I called it. The paying customer, the people these projects are designed to attract and to please, to disregard their opinions because they hurt the feelings or sensibilities of you and your contemporaries, only serve to show the stark divide that has risen between the Western gaming industry and the players they claim to serve. And then we got an example of a candy company created a candy bar that most consumers believe tastes like dog turds. Those manufacturers would typically turn around and blame the consumer, or wouldn't typically turn around and blame the consumers for not having their refined taste or insinuate that they don't know what good candy tastes like because they've never been a chocolatier. Dark's rebuttal to Jaffe was blunt but effective. He's furious that our voice matters, Dark said, that content creators have a voice, but also that it's so easy for people to, at the end of the day, give their opinions for an average person maybe like you watching. He is furious at that. I understand that he's a little bit salty. He's not relevant anymore. He used to be extremely relevant. He's got this YouTube channel with, I think, like 55,000 subscribers. Man, I wish I had that. And he's like wasting it away, which is still pretty good. Don't get me wrong. But it's clear that he's just a little bit angry that this is the situation. I'm in this chair because I genuinely believe the things I'm talking about, Dark said, because I genuinely want the video game industry to be better. I wanted to go back to what it was because I think that's where the peak of it was at. I'm sitting in this chair because there are not enough voices when it comes to the gaming industry and trying to protect the previous franchises that are getting absolutely destroyed by activists right now. I would have said the term bastardized. I'm sitting in this chair because not a lot of other people will, and I'm not saying that there's no one, right? There are tons of amazing content creators out there who are now talking about the culture war and Gamergate 2, but I've been talking about censorship in the video game industry and microtransaction problems and the awful way that developers and community managers have acted for years. She says this in this video. I watched it, so you can watch it. And she's kicking ass with 140K subscribers. Yeah. So all this quotes, a lot of this quote is indeed from the video, so I would recommend you guys watch it. Jaffe isn't the first time virtue signaling legacy games industry personality to malign and attack Vara Dark. Former Kotaku Senator editor turned Patreon peddler Lessa Mercante challenged YouTubers to a fight several months ago, and then when Dark accepted, she quickly had reasons why she couldn't go to follow through. She wasn't going to follow through. Do you think Vara is goth? Maybe a little bit. I don't know. The whole goth label I've stopped giving a crap about. I like Vara, though. She'd be a good guest to have. I've reached out before. Haven't heard anything back, but who knows? Maybe one day. Jaffe hasn't worked with Sony in a long time, yet he thinks one day they're going to let him come back to make a game. Jaffe has been huffing copium since his Drawn to Death game flopped. Oh, is that why he disappeared? Because a game did terrible? I never really looked into the fact of why he left. But there you go. All I can say is, Vara, keep doing the Lord's work. You're doing good, doing fine. As for you, David, let's see. All I can say is, well, not me. Venom Greg said.
Shut up, bitch!
There you go.
This guy must be a fag.
That's all I can say. All right. With that being said, let's check out what games were released today. We take a look at GameFAQs and Moby Games. Ooh, Mega Man 5 came out today in Japan. Lufia and the Fortress of Doom, Super Nintendo. Ooh, Jake and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. I played that not too long ago. Really good game. I need to continue that series. Be my first time. Mega Man X6. Yeah, dude. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2. There you go. Gran Turismo 4. Naruto Clash of Ninja 2. Sonic Battle. Wow. Sorcerer's Maze. The Golden Compass. Oh, yeah. And Dragon Ball Z Infinite World. Wow. That game unfortunately flopped because they were trying to... They released it around the same time for Burst Limit, and it kind of got swept under the rug. They went more with the PSP Shin Budokai type games. I played it, though. I've 100%ed it. Guardians of Middle Earth, Far Cry 3, Mario Kart 7, Starbound, Xenoblade Chronicles X, Attack on Titan, Humanity in Chains, Delta Force, Persona 5. Dang, lots of good games. And we'll expand further with Moby games across the world. Oh gosh, Rambo for the NES was released in Japan. So was Star Wars. Game & Watch, Widescreen Fire. Dang. Outlanders. We said Mega Man 5. Wow. Lost World Jurassic Park, the PlayStation version. Armored Core, Project Phantasma. You know, some people like their Armored Core. Dude, really good games this time around. Simpsons Road Rage, the Xbox version, United States. I think people say Hit and Run was like one of the best Simpsons games, minus the arcade. I do like the arcade, but that's like old school like drawings of the Simpsons. Sonic Battle is the shit. She could appear on her stream. I'll ask Vara next time when she streams the Goth thing, and if you could appear on your stream, she could appear. That's cool. I appreciate it. I'm still trying to get that dirty birdie legal mindset on here. That butthole. It's pronounced Xenoblade Cross. I made that mistake before. Oh, that makes sense. But if it was a cross... Yeah. It's going to be like a cross is, you know, more plus sign than anything, but that was an act. Anyway, your PS3 version of the reboot Prince of Persia came out in Germany. Not the best game. I only played it like once. I think I still have my copy. A lot of rock bands. Rockin' the Holidays 2008 pack for 360 worldwide. Oh, yeah. All right, we're slowly getting into the 2016s here. This is when I notice like games kind of start falling off. Unfortunately. They're trying their best to bring it back. They're trying their best. When I'm looking through this list for anybody out there, I just look for games that kind of pop out in my eye. To the Japanese, I guess it's a cross. Yeah, true. Yeah, right now, nothing really jumping out at me anymore, but very good, solid games. Very good. All right, well, I had a shitty starting of this stream because Rumble Studios pissing me off, but we got it working last time, so I guess I just gotta keep that bit rate the way it was, even though I shouldn't have to change it. But anyway, shout out to everyone who hung out with me. Thanks for Chaos for swinging by the way. Appreciate it, brother. Let's see who else is online that we can redirect, at least over on YouTube. Oh, Nina's online. We can send you guys over to Nina. I like Nina. Also, they dropped a release date for Bleach Rebirth of Souls. Oh, yeah. Isn't that like in March now or something? Is it Rebirth of Souls or did I Reborn of Souls? Am I dumb? Rebirth. Rebirth of Souls release date. Yeah, March 21st, 2025 is what I'm seeing. Kind of around my birthday. But yes, all right. March it is. Indeed. All right. Well, we were on YouTube, Rumble, and X. So if you enjoyed the stream, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button and smash that notification bell to get notified when I go live. Just help boost up the algorithm. Always humbled and appreciative of the support. And then you can always check out the memberships and stuff as well if you want to go beyond just helping the algorithm. All right. Over on YouTube, we'll be sending you guys over to Nina Infinity stream. But yes, I will catch you guys on the flip side. Take care. God bless. Should be doing more Tomb Raider 3 here. And yes, that'll be it. So, until then, you guys have a good night. Take care. Adios. As I hit my hat.